What's up, everybody? It's Mason, and I just want to have a little fun and do a quick little chart reading for Rob Zombie, born January 12th, 1965, 4:44 p.m., Haverhill, Massachusetts, born on a Tuesday, just like me. All right. Anyway, I've been a big fan of Rob Zombie since the late 90s. Uh, Started with his music, and then it was very enthusiastic about his films as well. So, and he's a really fascinating guy to listen to when he does interviews or podcasts. So yeah, let's take a look at his charts. I'm really thankful that his birth time is public. So that way we can see his rising sign and look at his houses. I'd like to think that since his birth time is public, maybe it's because he embraces or at least knows his astrology, which I hope that he does, because yeah, some really powerful placements. So let's take a look. Okay, so we will see that Rob has Cancer rising with Sun in Capricorn and Moon in Taurus. So Cancer rising, Cancer being a cardinal water sign. With Cancer rising, um, that's going to give him great intuition. I'm sure that when he's performing on stage, it's probably really easy for him to uh, gauge the audience's response to him, gauge the audience's emotions, and sort of know what he needs to do to appeal to them. Has a really sharp gauge on what the people want from him. Also, as Cancer symbolizes the mother, um, he probably has a really nurturing presence. Might be easy for people to feel sort of safe or protected around him. And he's also a very nostalgic person with a really great memory. A lot of times when I've watched interviews with him, he likes to reminisce a lot. He likes to talk about the good old days, old music, old movies. So being nostalgic and a really good memory, those are key Cancerian traits. So yeah, and when since he has Cancer rising, then the moon is his chart ruler. So we'll find his moon up here in Taurus. Taurus, a fixed earth sign, and he's got an exalted moon, meaning the moon loves to be in Taurus. It's its favorite place to be, in fact, as Taurus, a very, comfortable sign, a very sensual sign. So that just the moon, just, it's very comfortable here, obviously. So that will obviously add to his comforting or like presence. It's probably easy for people to feel comfortable around him. Um, all right, and then he is also blessed with his moon conjunct his Jupiter. So Jupiter in Taurus, Jupiter, the biggest planet in the solar system. So it's the planet of expansion and abundance, good luck. So. Um, and he's got it in his 11th house. The 11th house is the house of large groups of people and associations, social progress. So he obviously performs for large groups of people, and that's a way that he makes money. Usually, you follow the themes of where your Jupiter is, and that's what can bring you good luck and abundance. So obviously, he's had great success with that, and I just had the thought that Jupiter in Taurus. It reminds me of his song "Super Beast," uh, as Jupiter in Taurus just feels like a super beast. Here I come, ready to put on a big show for y'all. So yeah, super beast. All right, And despite these comfy planetary conjunction and placements here in Taurus, he does have this nice juicy opposition with his Neptune in Scorpio in his fifth house. Uh, Fifth house is the fun house, the house of self-expression and creativity. Rob is a perfect example of someone with Scorpio ruling the fifth house, especially with Neptune there, as most of his uh, projects have a dark edge to them and a cult edge, very psychological, very deep. And then Neptune, the planet of dreams and imagination. And Neptune also rules movies and music. So yeah, a fascinating placement there for Rob. And Moon opposite Neptune. Um, Probably not very easy to deal with. He might have some emotional paranoia. It could, he might have had issues imagining things that aren't there. He might have had issues with paranoia, but no doubt gives him a great creative edge. Let's see. Also, he works with actor Bill Moseley a lot, and Bill is a Scorpio. So I think that this is great synastry, I guess, as Bill's son will be in his fifth house. So Bill is great at um, expressing or bringing life to Rob's vision of his projects. He can bring them to life really well. Um, Let's see what else. I also think that Rob's song "Feel So Numb" is a great manifestation, I suppose, of Moon opposite Neptune. Feel so good, yet I feel so numb. Yeah. And also, his film Halloween 2 comes to mind as an expression of Moon opposite Neptune, as that's a very psychological film, a very dark film, and with a lot of themes about um, how Michael Myers was raised or his relationship with his mother, as the moon symbolizes the mother. So just dramatic emotions as far as that goes in that film. Really love that film. It's certainly not for everybody, as it's quite violent and just dark, but it's off the wall. Typically, if you enjoy Rob's aesthetic, you'll probably enjoy that movie. But anyway, so yeah, Neptune opposite the moon, opposite Jupiter. Oof, that's quite the push-pull. I mean, the opposition of Taurus and Scorpio. I mean, let's let's kind of be basic and comfortable versus let's go deep. Anyway, what else could I say here? So he's got his Mercury in Sagittarius, Sagittarius, a fire sign. And then Mercury, the planet of communication and thought. So no doubt, as a singer, he's got a very big voice, loud voice, and he uses his voice to express his philosophies with great passion with Mercury and Sagittarius. Um, and it is squaring his Mars in Virgo. So Virgo, a mutable earth sign. And, his Mars here, it's very hard working as an earth sign. It seeks um, perfection, very detail oriented, result oriented versus or squaring. So a square is just tension between two planets. And so this Mercury, he very freedom seeking and sort of, you know, fuck it and I'll say what I want to say and this is how I feel and versus his Mars that wants to, you know, keep it practical? And how can we sort of calm down that Mercury energy and produce something real from it instead of just being off and shouting at the clouds, I suppose. I guess that's how I would describe that square. Um, as simply as possible. But anyway, but Mars and Virgo, a great placement for a movie director, as it makes you very detail oriented. I would guess that on set, he can notice little things really easily, want to make little changes here and there, and he might be a little fiery when he expresses that. So he just wants to get it right. He wants it done right, as perfect as it can be. Um, but the way that he uh, expresses that might come off maybe like a dick, I guess. I don't know. But anyway. But then he also has Uranus conjunct Pluto. This was a conjunction going on in the 60s, late 60s, mid to late 60s, whatever. But it was at its sharpest from 1965, 66, and also retrograde, both of these. So a great focus of these themes here. So Uranus conjunct Pluto just really intensely seeks freedom um, in the third house of early education and also can relate to communication style. Uh, Perhaps when he was little in his family or at school in particular, maybe he felt outcast or like a black sheep. He could have possibly been bullied or something, or just maybe didn't really like school structure, wanted to break free from that. Uranus, the planet of rebellion and revolution, new ideas, um, and then Pluto, transformation and power, psychology, deep psychology as it rules Scorpio. So yeah, an intense need for freedom with this conjunction, especially in hey, third house, the way that he communicates. Let's see, and with this conjunction, definitely capable of inspiring and or encouraging authenticity in society. And he's got his Pluto exactly trining his Jupiter as well, also no doubt giving him fame and success and gifted with the ability to transform people on a large scale with this really cool trine there. He's got a grand Earth trine, really. So a hard worker, just gifted with knowing how to get shit done. Um, okay, and then he's got his sun in Capricorn, as we noted at the beginning, at a Capricorn degree. Sun in Capricorn, very ambitious, um, wants to make a name for himself. And he's got it at the Capricorn degree, like I said. It's also known as the kill or be killed degree. So maybe he's had struggles with people um, thinking that he was weaker than he really is. Maybe he's had to fight against people trying to take advantage of him or something, or feels like he has to work extra hard to prove himself, especially um, with the sun in Capricorn, a very ambitious and hardworking sign. But Pluto trining the sun gives him a strong sense of a unique destiny, and of course, also adds to his interest in psychology. So yeah, what a deep guy. Let's see. Venus, we'll just mention his Venus real quick. Venus, the planet of your aesthetic and what you're attracted to, what turns you on. So he's got a 0 degree Capricorn Venus. So he likes stability in relationships. He takes his relationships very seriously with Venus and Capricorn, and his relationships can be very grounding for him. He's got the the ruler of the seventh house in the ninth house. So again, his relationships help um, ground him and perhaps his belief systems. Maybe he's had a lot of lessons in relationships, whether it be romantic or just the people close to him in general. with the house ruler there. Besides going through a good chunk of Rob's chart, I'd like to do some synastry. So we'll do some synastry with Sherry Moon Zombie. So we don't have Sherry's birth time, so we don't know her rising and stuff. But without that, we have some really cool synastry to look at. So the inner wheel is Rob's chart, and the outer wheel will be Sherry's chart. So first of all, I just wanted to show that her Saturn in Taurus, obviously, is right on top of his moon. Now, so that just it's amazing because they're such a power couple. You know, Sherry Moon Zombie and Rob is ruled by the moon. I think that that's really cool. But with her Saturn on top of his moon, yeah, she's very grounding for him, very emotionally grounding for him. If he's dealing with this wild opposition here, again, she can be very grounding and soothing for him. Um, and also with her Saturn on his moon and close to Jupiter as well, she motivates him to work hard. Um, so yeah. Also, her Venus on his Neptune. So this is like his dream woman. Um, and perhaps she kind of puts a spell on him in a way. So that's some pretty neat synastry there. Um, Let's see, no doubt they have a really intense relationship. I mean, and her Neptune isn't that far away from his either. Not quite a conjunction, but yeah, intense relationship. Let's see. And she has her son in his fourth house. So with Cancer rising, he has Libra ruling his fourth house. So no doubt their home has a really artistic aesthetic. Um, Probably emphasized on beauty, but their own personal style, of course. So it's probably, pretty dark and stuff, but still it's their aesthetic when it comes to beauty and art. So with her son in his fourth house, uh, he feels very at home with her. And then also her Uranus in his fourth house. So besides, being comfortable with her at home, she probably adds to the eccentricity of their home or the the uniqueness of their home. I remember watching the video probably over 10 years ago. He did a tour of his house, so I don't know if he still lives there, but it was a really, really cool house. Tons of art everywhere, and especially with his moon in Taurus, I'm sure that, if you visited their home, they would do their best to like make you feel comfortable, but also they want to show you all their cool stuff. Yeah, no doubt. That'd be a great house to take a tour of. And then lastly, before we wrap up, um, she has, or so her moon is in his second house of what we find valuable in a physical way, and how we make money. Um, so, no doubt that her participation in his projects brings him a lot of money. And she's got her moon in Leo, so very creative and dramatic. And obviously, she portrays that really well in most of the characters that she plays in his movies, and that's brought him a lot of success with the way she's so creative and dramatic, and obviously a very beautiful woman. And what a power couple with excellent synastry. Oh, I also had to note that her North Node is on top of his Saturn, so a very karmic bond. Um, let's see, and it was just they're destined to be together as the North Node is a point of destiny. Um, and then that's her North Node, obviously, and his Saturn. So he can help bring her to her destiny. Can probably teach her lessons about perhaps spirituality and belief system with it in Pisces. So anyway, yeah, just a very karmic bond that they had together. They were definitely meant to be together. Excellent synastry and excellent charts on both ends. Love Rob's Moon Jupiter conjunction opposite Neptune and Scorpio. Lord Mars and Virgo, what a great director. Um, loud ass Mercury and Sagittarius. Yeah, fun charts here. All right, I'll shut up now, but I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.